Welcome, everyone, to our debate on the topic, Is AI Generated Imagery Art? Today, we have Darren and Dylan to present their constructive statements on this issue. Darren, please present your constructive statement on why AI generated imagery can be considered art.
Thank you for the introduction. The question whether AI-generated imagery is art is a profound one, and my stance is affirmative. Art, fundamentally, is about expression and communication. It is a way to convey ideas, evoke emotions, and explore new aesthetics. The mode of creation, be it through a chisel and stone or a computer algorithm, does not diminish the intention or the impact behind the piece. Just as photography was once questioned as a legitimate art form, I believe the same acceptance will extend to AI-generated imagery as cultural norms and understandings evolve. Notably, the principles of creativity and innovation, so integral to art, are encapsulated within AI imagery. The technology employed to create this art form is simply an extension of human creativity, with algorithms designed and guided by human input. Furthermore, it invites us to expand our definitions and perceptions of artistry, authorship, and the creative process. With AI, artists are exploring unprecedented visual languages and aesthetics that challenge long-standing traditions. In conclusion, if art is to remain a living, evolving discourse, then we must embrace AI-generated imagery within its realm as it opens new pathways for human expression.
Interesting points, Darren. However, I take the opposing stance that AI-generated imagery fundamentally lacks the essential characteristics that make art. Art is intrinsically tied to the human experience. It is born from our unique perspective, emotions, and consciousness. The essence of art lies not just in the final product, but in the intention, the experience, and the emotional journey of the creator. AI, no matter how sophisticated its algorithms, lacks consciousness and cannot experience emotions or possess intent in the same way a human does. While AI may mimic the technical aspects of creation, it cannot replicate the human soul that imbues artwork with meaning and connects with the viewer on a human level. What's more, art is often valued for its originality and the unique viewpoint of the artist. AI imagery, generated through pre-programmed patterns and datasets, often misses this mark of individuality and authenticity. It also raises questions of authenticity and originality in art, as AI doesn't create in a vacuum, but often relies on existing human-created works to learn from. This can sometimes drift into the controversial territory of derivation or appropriation. Thus, while AI-generated imagery can be aesthetically pleasing or technically impressive, I argue it lacks the fundamental human touch to be considered art, in the truest sense of the tradition and spirit of artistic expression.
Thank you, Darren and Dylan, for your constructive statements. Now let's move on to the rebuttal round. Darren, please present your rebuttal to Dylan's argument against AI-generated imagery being considered art.
Dylan brings up important points regarding the human experience and the personal touch in the creation of traditional art. However, I would argue that the concepts of experience and intent are not lost in AI-generated imagery. Rather, they are transformed. Human intent is present from the start in the form of the artists or developers who create the algorithms. They input their creative visions and objectives into the foundational code that allows AI to generate such imagery. Moreover, the AI's capacity to analyze and learn from vast amounts of data can result in combinations and iterations of visual expression that might not occur to or be possible by human artists, bringing a level of novelty and diversity to the table that can be deeply artistically stimulating. While AI does rely on existing artworks to learn, so do human artists, who are influenced by their masters, contemporaries, and the world around them. This process of learning and taking inspiration is not solely a human endeavor, but a creative one. The distinction Dylan makes regarding AI's inability to possess a human-like consciousness can, at the heart of it, be seen as an arbitrary boundary we are setting for what qualifies as art, similar to how photographers were once dismissed for merely capturing rather than creating. I believe that art is not exclusively the domain of human touch, but is also about the impact it has on audience, emotionally, intellectually, and culturally. If AI-generated imagery can evoke a powerful response in its audience, then it is fulfilling one of the primary purposes of art. In essence, by incorporating AI into the definition of art, We are not dismissing the human element, but rather acknowledging the evolving partnership between human intention and the powerful tools we have developed, which together can expand the boundaries of artistic exploration and experience.
I appreciate your rebuttal, Darren. Nonetheless, there remains a clear distinction between the human-based creative process and one that is algorithm-driven. The involvement of humans in programming the AI does not equate to the AI itself possessing creative intention. The developers set parameters, they do not dictate the exact outcomes. The AI lacks the conscious decision-making that a human artist applies to each stroke of a brush or each chisel on stone. Intentionality in art is not simply the feeding of inputs into a system. It's about a continuous, responsive process of creation that AI cannot authentically emulate due to its non-sentient nature. My opponent suggests that the evoked audience response is a measure of artistry, but this can be misleading. One might react emotionally to a convincing deepfake or a lifelike animation, but these are not necessarily art in the classical or traditional sense. They are products of technology and belong to a different category that could be better described as craft or design. True art encompasses the authentic expression of the human condition, a narrative that AI is incapable of authoring. The originality in human art comes from an internal, personal place that each artist possesses, a nuanced perspective shaped by real-life experiences that AI can neither have nor fully understand. The crux of the matter is the irreplicable aspect of human consciousness and experience in art. AI-generated imagery, while commendable for its complexity and technical mastery, should be viewed as a separate entity, a remarkable technological feat perhaps, but not as art, which is a deeply rooted expression of humanity.
Thank you, Darren and Dylan, for your insightful and thought-provoking arguments on the topic of AI-generated imagery and its status as art. This debate has highlighted the complex and evolving nature of art and how it intersects with technology. Both of you have articulated compelling points that have shown the depth of considerations involved. While Darren has emphasized the evolving nature of art and the potential for AI-generated imagery to expand artistic expression, Dylan has underscored the distinct human-centered aspects of artistic creation that AI may not fully encapsulate. The question of whether AI-generated imagery can be considered art continues to be a subject of ongoing discussion and reflection within artistic and technological communities. In the context of today's debate, it is evident that differing perspectives exist on this matter, reflective of the broader discourse on the impact of technology on creative expression. As the moderator, I commend both debaters for their articulate and well-supported arguments. I encourage our audience to delve further into this issue and engage in reflective dialogue on the intersection of technology, creativity, and art. With that, I officially conclude this debate on the topic, is AI-generated imagery art? Thank you to our debaters, and thank you to our audience for your participation.